please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Good morning. I'd like to take this opportunity to remind each of you to silence your cell phones, turn them off if need be. Welcome today. Please join me as I offer our invocation. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this momentous occasion where we are able to honor our graduates who for years and years put much work into this process. We thank you for the opportunity of the Pineschool to offer them the education that they've received. We pray that you'd bless them this morning. Help this time to be profitable as we acknowledge them for the many things that they've accomplished. In your name, amen.
Good morning. I am Mike Baum, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, and on behalf of all of my fellow trustees, I'd like to welcome you to today's graduation ceremonies for the class of 2014. Let me first offer our congratulations to our students and their families for their accomplishments leading up to their graduation today. With all your hard work and dedication, you have made it all look so easy. You have succeeded, and now you're ready for your next set of challenges. Like I way too often do, I look back at my welcoming comments from last year and found, interestingly, that my concluding remarks may have been a bit of an overstatement. What I finished with was, for all of you underclassmen, since we now have higher expectations, you can thank the class of 2013. What I clearly failed to understand and consider was the class of 2014. Across the board, academics, athletics, arts, you have not only moved the bar and our expectations higher, you have exploded some of them. Your academic achievements have been measurably higher, both as individuals and as a group. You have pushed our SAT and ACT scores even higher. Your contributions to our performing arts programs have been at a level that they may never be replicated in the future. And along with numerous athletic accomplishments like district and regional titles, one of you became our first state champion. As a group, you have enriched our school, and along the way, the lives of our faculty and staff, and by your achievements, you have propelled the Pineschool to new heights. As I like to say, good students make good schools, and you have clearly made us a very good school. Thank you. On another note, without diminishing or not wanting to diminish in any way our focus on our graduates today, I'm excited to talk to you about another event that occurred yesterday afternoon. The Pineschool signed a purchase and sale agreement submitted to us by the current owners of the Hobe Sound campus to acquire the Hobe Sound campus. We have a scheduled closing on June 26, 2014, and we expect to make formal announcements early next week once we have the FDIC's approval of the transaction. This marks the achievement of step one in our Unite campaign to combine all our students and school operations here on the Hobe Sound campus. You can all expect to hear more as we now move to step two, the design and construction of the new facilities to house the lower school here on the Hobe Sound campus. Thank you very much.
Good morning. It is a happy day. Good morning and welcome to students, families, trustees, faculty, and staff, Thank you for coming to celebrate these 38 graduates and partake in the 6th commencement of the Pine School. It's an honor to be here this morning and to hand diplomas to these students, many of whom I have watched for their entire educational career. Wasn't it just yesterday that Mrs. Stewart and I sat with you and your parents to reassure you about middle school and that all the changes that were about to occur? Well, they have. Inevitably, at this time, we find ourselves reflecting on the many things that have happened over the course of the previous only 9 or 10 months. And it's easy to tally up, as Mr. Baum pointed out, the myriad things that the faculty and students have accomplished over that time, and it is impressive, particularly for a school that is so young. All those who have made honor rolls, athletic accomplishments, both team and individual, fine arts recognitions, the events that have become traditional now, and the community service efforts that demonstrate a deep and impressive commitment to our community and the welfare of others. Essentially, all of those things that have filled the pages this year of social media and our publications, in all of those areas, you have thrived. And yet, as impressive and as bright as the portrait painted by these accomplishments, when I think back over the events of the past years, I'm less struck by the tangible achievements than I am by the many smaller individual triumphs and experiences that are what I believe what truly defines a quality education. I find myself thinking of the student who initially struggled with the transition to high school, but who, supported by our caring faculty, discovered a previously unrecognized resolve and developed a newfound confidence as he or she hit their stride and started down the road to achievement. I think of the students who have stepped forward in athletics and fine arts, announcing by their accomplished efforts that they are performers who are ready to lead. I think of the students who ventured out of their comfort zones, whether in auditioning for a performance, or mastering a foreign language, or traveling to a faraway country, and whether successful or not in the attempt, have nonetheless grown in many ways, in that while not wholly clear maybe at this point, will come to fruition in the years ahead. Indeed, however unconscious the change, each of you is different than you were in August. The lessons, direct and subtle, that you have learned in chemistry, Chinese, design, or AP courses, all change the way you see the world. And the more you learn, the better you understand how it all fits into the world of knowledge. The teaching and learning process never really stops, even though the lessons and the results are not always immediately available or recognizable. Education doesn't work that way. So with summer and graduation truly only moments away, embrace this moment, relish in the attention of the day and the achievement of the years. Look forward, but remember to look back and come back. In Shakespeare's The Tempest, the phrase, "What's past is prologue," was borrowed and used by the outstanding historian and producer Ken Burns. Your future lies behind you. Congratulations, graduates. This morning we are pleased to present student speakers who are elected by their class for this honor. Our first speaker today is Spencer Ballantyne, the first head boy prefect and the Potsdam Award winner for this year. Welcome to Spencer. This is your version and that's that version, so whichever one you want to use.
Well, it seems merely fitting to start with thank you. Thank you, esteemed Pine School faculty and administration, for without your incredible capacity for compassion and for the concernment and the development of our minds and our lives, we would not be here today. I would also like to give a grand thank you and love you to the families. For without your unconditional love and support that we take for granted, we would not be here today. Thank you. 4th grade. 8 years ago, I was screaming and sobbing in that old chocolate milk-stained minivan my father used to drive me to school in. Why? It was my first day at the Pineschool. I had just moved down from New Hampshire, and I was convinced that the Pineschool was going to be the worst experience of my life because I missed my old life. Every fiber in my being told me that I was going to be right. But my dad would always respond, "Spence, just give it a chance," and put a smile on your face. Prideful and bereft of any maturity, I tell him, of course I'm giving it a chance, and it's awful. And I don't like my classmates. Even though I never really opened my mind and gave it an unbiased chance. I couldn't have been any more wrong. I'll admit it, I was wrong. I love the Pineschool. And more than that, hey, I love my classmates. But sometimes I suppose it is a commonality we all share with the human condition, parent, student, teacher alike. We think we know everything. What we know will not always be right, and what we perceive immediately will not always be correct. We have to be willing to find out if we are wrong and be okay with that. We have to go in with an open mind, separate our logic from begrudged emotions or preconceived notions of what it all means. Because we never know what we're going to get until we try. Take a bold leap into the unknown, armed with kindness, compassion, and a drive to succeed. But what does it mean to succeed? We're going to have a lot of advice on that today. But I wouldn't buy into society's definition of success because I don't think it's working for anyone. I don't think it's working for all the women. I don't think it's working for all the men. I don't think it's working for all the polar bears. It's only working for those who make pharmaceuticals for sleeplessness and weight loss and stress. But I know as students at the Pineschool, I saw it all the time in high school. We don't handle failure that well. They usually led to slathers of complaints, stress rants, and meltdowns with our teachers. I apologize to the teachers who had to put up with that. We have to learn to develop success from failures, and that it's not the end of the world. It's not Armageddon if we fail. So if we fall, we need to get up, suck it up, and move forward. And when your goal is in front of you, I wouldn't aim for success just for success's sake. Just do what you love and what you believe in, and success will come naturally. But as I feel as we grow as human beings, our definition of success changes, individually too. If it didn't, America today would be overrun by cowboys and princesses, unemployment be through the roof. But for me, the most important thing in life is to live life to its fullest. Live your life with integrity, to live your life as an honest and compassionate person, to contribute in some way. There's a Zen parable that I am fond of and I'd like to share with you guys. My classmates knew Zen was coming. A group of Zen monks, highly established in their careers, got together to visit their old Zen master. Conversations soon turned into complaints about stress and work and life. And offering his old students tea, the master went to the kitchen and returned with a large pot of tea and an assortment of cups. Some porcelain, wood, glass, crystal, some plain-looking, some expensive, some exquisite, telling them to help themselves to the tea. When all the students had a cup of tea in hand, the master said, "If you noticed, all of the expensive, nice-looking cups had been taken up, leaving behind only the plain and the cheap ones. While it is only normal for you to want the best for yourselves, so that is the problem and the source of your stress. Be assured that the cup itself adds no quality to the tea. In some cases, it's just more expensive, and in most cases, even hides what we drink." But all you really wanted was the tea, not the cup. But you consciously went for the best cup and then began eyeing each other's cups to see who had the best one. Now consider this, said the Zen master, life is like a cup of tea. The life is the tea, the money, material, status in society, those are the cups. They are just tools to hold and contain life. And the type of cup we have does not define nor change the quality of life that we live. Sometimes by concentrating only on the cup, we fail to enjoy the tea. Savor the tea, not the cups. The happiest people, they don't have the best of everything, they just make the best of everything. Live simply, love generously, speak kindly, care deeply. I love this parable because it pertains to success. Money is not the only measure of success, happiness is. And money cannot buy happiness. No amount of Lamborghinis, yachts, mansions, private jets can change that. Although, hey, certainly nice to have. And I have to admit it, there is one thing that's bothered me the last 4 years. The abundant use of the word hate. I hate this, I hate her shoes. I don't really hate your shoes, actually they're kind of nice now I'm looking at it. I hate how Miss Houseman is so exuberantly happy teaching 8 a.m. math classes. I still don't know how, by the way. Passion. If there's only one thing that you remember from my speech, please let it be this thimble of advice among the myriad that we will hear today. Something I learned by myself just from experience over 18 years. Something that's tried and something that is true. And this is it. Remove the word hate from your vocabulary. Literally and figuratively. Remove hate, the feeling, from your mind, but also hate the word from your vocabulary. And I guarantee that you will be happier and enjoy life more than ever before. Now flash back to my first day of school. After the tears subsided and the mom behind us honked their horn at us in car line, now thinking about it, was probably Mrs. Stubblefield. I got out and faced my first day at the Pineschool. My anger and my sadness turned into small bouts of excitement as I walked the hallway. Walking into class, I was holding this new Star Wars lunchbox with Yoda on the front of it and saying, "Always in the motion is future," which is actually quite appropriate now that I think of it. Parents were there with their cameras, snapping pictures and wishing us well, bon voyage. I met a really cool kid named Caitlin. In some ways, not much has changed in 8 years. Here I am today. Okay, so I didn't bring my Star Wars lunchbox, but I still have an awful Yoda impersonation. Parents are here with their camera, snapping pictures, wishing us well. One of my best friends, Caitlin, is still here, and she's still a really cool kid. And I am excited. As Mr. Osborne would say, history repeats itself. Well, it does, but also on a smaller scale, too. 8 years, just a blip on the screen of life. And some of us here today, including our tear-soaked parents, my mom's probably bawling her eyes out right now, are wondering how our lives are going to turn out. First of all, relax, Mom and Dad. You made hard-working children with high work ethic, and it's okay to wonder. But I also think it's important to realize that our future is not just something that happens to us. It's up to us to create. Hammer in hand, song in heart, preferably Timber by Pitbull. The song gets me pumped. But my point is that the world is much more malleable than we think. And it's waiting for us to hammer it into shape. Take action with that hammer, because we have the choice. We can choose to be happy, just as we can choose to be sad. You can choose to be either a passive victim of circumstance or the active hero of your own life. Our generation, we hold the anvil. We have opportunities to change the world like none other. This is our time, but it is also our responsibility. And this diploma, it's a blunt instrument. So let's go forth and build something. And I would also like to thank the class of 2014. For those of you who might not realize how close our class is with each other, let me give some quick examples. I know every one of you very well, probably know more than I should about you. I know, for instance, that Matthew Edwards, he can move his hips faster and more fluently to a Spanish pop song than I have ever seen in my life, and probably never will. I also know, for instance, that Mina Sarapat has never thrown a malicious insult towards anyone that I have seen, and even if they might have deserved it. I know, for instance, that Ethan Bryan, he could grow better facial hair in 6th grade than I can now, and that's impressive. Or that Lily and Aaron Connolly, they eat banana sandwiches for lunch. Or that Carson Kavner is the most spirited and effervescent Pine athletic supporter this school has ever seen. But what makes us unique, what makes us different, that brings us together. And if you ask Miss Pacifico, she will tell you that this is the kindest Pine School class they have ever seen. And I say that kindness, that's in our hearts. And that's what's important about our class. And lastly, at my best and at my worst, times where I thought I couldn't take another step forward, who was there for me? It was my class. I can only hope that in times of need, we reach out to each other to help each other without even needing to ask. So, fellow graduates, I urge you today to embrace the opportunity before you, be compassionate, hardworking, hate-free people, and leave behind what isn't helpful. I'm leaving my Star Wars lunchbox. And bring forward with you the lessons that will be the working parts of your greatest monument ever, hammered by your experiences and your kindness, that of which is your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Spencer. Our second speaker this morning is Jack Stubblefield. Jack is a multi-sport athlete and the current Student Life Prefect. Jack received the Jonas Salk Science Award and the Eulers Award of Achievement in Math at our Evening of Academic Excellence. Please welcome Jack Stubblefield.
Good morning. In 1925, during the first round of the United States Open Championship, the biggest tournament in golf during that time, Bobby Jones hit a tee shot on the 11th hole that fell short and ended up in the deep rough to the left of the green. As he addressed the ball for his chip onto the green, the head of the club brushed the grass, causing the ball to move slightly. According to the USGA golf rules, Rule 18-2, if a player's ball in play moves after he has addressed it, the player is deemed to have moved the ball and incurs a penalty of 1 stroke. However, there was no camera that caught the movement, no instant replay on ESPN, no one in the gallery saw the ball move. The only person who knew the ball had moved was Mr. Jones. Despite the protests of USGA officials and his playing partner, Walter Hagen, Mr. Jones called the one-stroke penalty on himself. This self-imposed penalty eventually cost Bobby Jones the U.S. Open Championship. When sports writers praised him for his honesty, it was reported that Mr. Jones commented, "You might as well praise a man for not robbing a bank." Mr. Jones did what was right despite the personal consequences. This is character. Character is defined as the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. Often people do not fully understand the concept of character, for character and reputation are often confused. Legendary basketball coach John Wooden said, "Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are." Many people spend too much time trying to perform for others rather than just being true to their own set of values. They try to be one type of person in the public eye, but different when no one is around. I believe our class has established a character of, for the most part, doing the right thing. I would argue that this is not because we cared about what others thought. It is because it's what came naturally to us. Each and every day, I am a witness to some sort of kind act performed by a member of our class. We have always worked together as a team, supported each other, and represented the Pine School with integrity. I have seen the great character of my classmates. You can't help but see the real character of someone when you spend 24 hours in an airport with them. We made the best of our situation, and thanks to our amazing chaperones, Ms. Hausman and Ms. Lax, we had the most fun and entertaining trip getting back home. When I first came to the Pine School in 2004, I never would have believed I'd be up here praising the camaraderie and character of our class. To put it bluntly, I wasn't thrilled with the reception I received from several of the students during my first few months at the Pine School. I still remember the slide tackles from Reed and Ryan on the soccer field. They weren't very fond of me, and the feeling was mutual. Now I count Reed and Ryan as two of my closest friends. It takes character to let down your defenses and take the time to really get to know someone. As I was reading through quotes on character, I ran across one that intrigued me. This quote is from Abraham Lincoln. "Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power." Think about this for a moment. None of us have the power of the President of the United States, at least not yet, Spencer. But soon, we're going to have enormous freedom and power over our lives. Mom and Dad are not going to be around next year to fix any mistake we make. It is up to us to take care of ourselves and make the right decisions in this new chapter of our lives. This will be the true test of our character. Our parents and the faculty at the Pine School have put us on the right path. They have supported us and mentored us. Now, it is up to each of us to choose if we will follow that path. Can you focus on character and not worry about reputation? Will you have the courage to stay true to your values despite the personal consequences? Before I close, I have a few final thoughts I would like to share. I have to mention Mr. and Mrs. Rabb. I did not understand the possibility of becoming friends with teachers until the Rabbs came to the Pine School. On behalf of the senior class, we would like you to know that you have enriched our lives in ways you will never know, and we will never forget you. Also, on behalf of the class, I would like to take a moment to thank Mrs. Pacifico for all of her help and support throughout the college process. I can't imagine having gone through that process without you here helping me every step of the way and keeping my parents from freaking out. We would also like to thank Mr. Squire for patiently reading all of our college admissions essays and numerous rewrites. The class also wants to express our gratitude to Mr. Marroquin and the maintenance staff for all they do for the school. Your hard work and dedication is noticed and greatly appreciated. To Mr. Holland and the basketball team, thank you for all the fun and the famous quotes I will never forget. To Carson, thanks for making this golf season so memorable. And lastly, the class of 2014 would like to take a minute to thank our parents for all of their hard work and sacrifices in assisting us in our many endeavors. I know for one that my parents deserve an award for putting up with me for these last 18 years. None of what we have accomplished would have been possible without our parents. As we close this chapter of our lives and prepare for the next, I would like to express my gratitude to the Pine School. My life has been truly blessed by the relationships I've made over the past 10 years. My hope is that the contributions of our senior class will be lasting and that we will always be remembered with our character in the years to come. Thank you, and may God bless each of you.
In introducing guest speakers, I have often heard people make the statement that the guest speaker needs no introduction. Well, today I think that's really a true statement, as many of you know and have interacted many times with Dr. Cantwell. Dr. Cantwell was our head of school from 2002 to 2009. He was brought to the Pine School in 2002 to develop the vision for the upper school. And he forged the path that ultimately led to our first graduating class in 2009. His leadership and wise counsel were instrumental in bringing to fruition a dream. As I listened last night to Matthew Edwards' comments at the baccalaureate ceremony about the impact that the Pine School had on him, I couldn't help but think that without Dr. Cantwell, none of us would even be here. His strength of character and calmness comforted both our students and our parents as we moved through the stress of the planning process, then construction, and ultimately our first upper school graduation. And even better, he made it seem like it was no big deal. He was a great leader and a role model for our school and our students. Dr. Cantwell received his undergraduate degree from the University of Vermont, an MAT degree from Antioch Graduate School of Education, and both master's and doctoral degrees in education from Columbia University. He has been an educational professional in independent schools for 48 years and has functioned as a head of school in 34 of those 48 years. I am pleased to reintroduce Dr. James Cantwell.
Jack and Spencer, great speech. It's always hard when you have to follow two great speeches, but I'll do my best. Head of school, Mrs. Parker, chairman of the board, Mr. Baum, other members of the board, esteemed faculty and staff, parents and grandparents, members of the class of 2014, and invited guests. It's a particular honor to be with you today and to give the graduation address to quite a remarkable senior class, more than half of whom were students at the Pine School before I retired after the first graduating class in 2009. Before I give the address, I want to recognize and I want to thank parents and grandparents. So I'm going to ask parents and grandparents, would you please stand up? You have done so much to bring these wonderful young people to this point in their education. You have made significant sacrifices. However, your love and your support have reaped great rewards. I also want to recognize and thank a remarkable Pine School faculty and staff. Faculty and staff, would you please stand up? Who every school day have been there to listen, to guide, to celebrate successes, and sometimes to be the shoulder to lean on during a difficult moment. Your efforts so much made today possible. In my experience, every senior class is unique and special in its own set of characteristics. That said, and having watched close up for many years, as well as at a certain distance for the last 4 or 5 years, watching these seniors grow and develop, I can say that the brightness, the solidarity, the academic, artistic, athletic achievements of these 38 seniors have set a very high bar for future senior classes. Perhaps most noteworthy is the wonderful sense of unselfish, generous, kind, and respectful community that you, seniors, represent. They seem to be at one with themselves as a class, and they leave a very high standard of humility, of unity, and achievement as a legacy for the future classes to follow. Well done, seniors. It's been said, and I said this about 6 years ago when I was talking to the seniors, that a good speech, a good graduation address, has a good beginning and has a good ending, and they're very close together. I was traveling out of town, and I picked up at the airport a USA Today newspaper, and I was leafing through it, and on the 3rd page there was an article about graduation addresses. I said, great, timely, I'll read this. It certainly gave me pause when I read, "A good grad speech is one not given." And that would be remembered, right? Well, too late. I wouldn't miss the opportunity to speak to the class of 2014 today. To honor the Pine School and its beginnings up to the present day, I've entitled my address, "What Seems Possible is Possible. Dreams Come True." I was just going to say what seems possible is possible, but this dreams come true thing came to me when my grandson, who's 2.5, and he's from Edinburgh, Scotland, so I have a Scottish-American grandson, and we went to Disney World, and he stood there in front of the castle when all the little characters were dancing, and the pirate comes out, and the Wicked Witch comes out, and she says that no dreams are possible. And Mickey Mouse and Pluto and those characters, they all start a chant, "Dreams come true, dreams come true." And I thought, that's appropriate, I said, and I looked at my grandson, and here he was, just ecstatic. And I looked around, and there probably are 150 young children, but there were about 200 adults. "Dreams come true," they were saying. So I put that in as the title for my address today. Seniors, you're going to soon set out more on your own than ever before to colleges and universities across the United States. How will you define success and happiness? Will it be money and power? Or are there other attributes that are much more important and much more fundamental to achieving success? Is your success measured by your degree of happiness? Seniors, I have 3 questions for you. No grade, just by a show of hands. How many of you, while students at the Pine School, discovered talents that you did not realize you had, whether academic, artistic, athletic, or perhaps in the area of leadership? How many? Hi. Okay, good. Second question. How many of you, while students at the Pine School, have been taken a bit outside your comfort zone and walked away the better for it? Good. And the last question. How many of you actually feel that after today's graduation, you have the power to make change and to do something truly meaningful? How many? Well done, class. You're definitely my class. In preparing today's address, I did three things. I asked myself what I thought was most important in achieving success after high school. Second, I read countless articles about successful CEOs and entrepreneurs and what they attributed their success. And finally, I asked numerous adult men and women, what advice do they wish they had been given by their graduation speaker when they graduated from high school? This is what I discovered. First, I asked myself, what have I learned in 48 years in the field of education and 34 as head of school that made the difference in the life of students that I worked with? There were a lot of things, but I want to highlight three. One, find your voice. This community found its voice when it put together and put into action the steps that created this very unique high school experience that you have also successfully completed. Second, step out of your comfort zone. I know that during that process of designing this high school program and the building a new campus, we were often outside of our own comfort zones. And third, be willing to take risks and not be afraid of failure. Yes, risks were taken along the way by a courageous and committed community. The result was what we see today in each and every one of you, the class of 2014. From day one at the Pine School, you've been encouraged to find your voice, to reach out, to speak out, to stand up, be heard, to be the individual that you are, and to make the difference. You seniors found your voices through the arts, through athletics, through particular academic courses, through leadership roles, and perhaps through outreach to others less fortunate. One way or another, confidence grew. You started to speak up and speak out. You've all been challenged to step out of your comfort zone, for that is when the greatest learning really takes place. Think about it. It is when you grow the most in what you believe, and it is often where you discover your talents, even a passion for something. Your trips to New York City and to the Grand Canyon, to name a couple, stretched and challenged you in ways that you could not have anticipated. And finally, developing that willingness and that courage to take a risk and not be afraid of failure. After all, failure is only the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Taking a risk, even if there is some failure along the way, most often brings satisfaction and rewards of its own. The second thing, each week, the New York Times business section, on Fridays and Sundays, there's a printed interview with an entrepreneur who is deemed very successful and happy. It's called Corner Office. The questions by the interviewer are generally the same, but the answers are very personal and varied. For several months, I read and collected these articles looking for some common ground, words of wisdom drawn from the experience of these successful corporate leaders. Some of these successful business people did not do well in school. Some were asked to leave. Some were recognized on the dean's list, and some graduated with high honors. But all had certain qualities that propelled them into positions of great responsibility, and all seemed to have achieved success and happiness. The results I found were enlightening and encouraging, especially helpful and relevant to such an outstanding group, soon to be high school graduates. What I found probably won't surprise you, but these attributes are in fact essential to one's success, and I believe one's happiness. Interview after interview, these CEOs, corporate presidents, chief strategic officers highlighted repeatedly 6 attributes. 1, the ability to be a good listener. The alternative can spell disaster. The ability to cooperate, to collaborate, working as a team, and respect each person's opinion. 3, having a passion for what you do, never being afraid to show that passion, showing spark, showing energy, being committed. Several successful entrepreneurs advise college graduates, as you search for your passion, go out, get a job, whatever it may be. Get the work experience, develop some skills. The interest and the passion will grow. Perhaps this is where you learn what sorts of things you like doing and what sorts of things you'd prefer to avoid in life. Number 4, admitting when you don't know the answer and when you make a mistake. 5, showing integrity and honesty. Nelson Mandela said, "A good head and a good heart are a formidable combination." And last, they highlighted the ability to deal with change and navigate through those choppy waters. For we live in a rapidly paced and changing world where uncertainty is a given. John F. Kennedy said, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only at the past or present are certain to miss the future." And the last thing I did, I asked dozens of adults, men and women of all ages, what it was they were not told, not given advice about by their graduation speaker, that upon reflection they wish maybe they had been. And those that could remember their graduation address told me this. Several said, "I wish the speaker had stressed that one should never feel entitled, that others owe them anything. You earn it through your own hard work and talents." Many said, "Never give up on a goal. For most of you, your goal won't be the college education or a degree at the end. For most of you, it will be finding your passion, and college is a step along the way." Often I heard, "Never lose your sense of humor. It may help you get through the hardest of times." Some said, "One's faith often helps you get through difficult times." Seniors, if you've found a faith, no matter how it is defined for you, nurture it, protect it, allow it to guide you as an inner voice. For many, faith is the most powerful antidote to what is wrong. It can bring you through the most difficult of situations. Numerous said, "On the road to achieving great things, whether in a job or in life in general, failure will occur, and it's okay. Learn from it. Move on. You will have flaws. You're not perfect." Nelson Mandela said, "Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fall down and got up again." I often heard people say, "Stay connected to family, to friends, and to fellowships, as these are what help you get through and keep you whole, not possessions." And finally, and perhaps most important, take care of your heart. Be true, seniors, to what you believe in. And one of the characteristics of today's graduating class is being who you are and remaining true to yourself. Make your particular path and allow it to take you on a great journey. Remember, life isn't always fair, but it's still good, and the best is yet to come. Langston Hughes said it so well in his poems, Dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field, frozen with snow. Class of 2014, congratulations and very best wishes to each and every one of you for all the success and happiness that you deserve in the months and years to come. Thank you.
Would like to invite Emily Renasco and Jordan Cox forward to have us stand and join in the alma mater. Please stand. Mr. Holland, have these students met their graduation requirements and stand ready to receive their diplomas, officially graduating from the Pine School?
Mrs. Parker, those seniors assembled here today have met the graduation requirements of the Pine School and are ready to receive their diplomas. I present the class of 2014 to you and Mr. Baum.
Ladies and gentlemen assembled here today, we will now recognize these fine young men and women as graduates of the Pine School. I would like Mr. Baum, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and Dr. Cantwell to join me as we hand out diplomas. It is a long-standing tradition at the Pine School for all family members and friends to stand for their child's recognition.
Caitlin Brooke Afshar. Caitlin will be attending Loyola Marymount University.
Caitlin would like to thank her parents and sisters for always supporting her and providing her with unconditional love. She thanks all of her family and friends for encouraging her to follow her dreams. She also would like to thank Mr. Squire, Miss Mealy, Mrs. Houseman, and Miss Litterick for shaping her as a student and as a person throughout her time in high school. Finally, she thanks the Pine School for providing her with such a wonderful place to learn in for all of her time as a student.
Shannon Madeline Brenda Aubert. Shannon will be attending Stanford University.
Shannon would like to thank her parents for all their hard work, dedication, and belief in her. The countless hours of studying and practicing have all been worth it. To her friends and teachers, she will never forget the past 2 years. Go Knights!
Shay Marie Babb. Shay will be attending Florida Gulf Coast University.
Shay would like to thank her mother for always being there for her, always striving to be the person her mother is. As the strongest and most independent person Shay knows, her mother is her lifelong best friend. Shay would also like to thank her brother for protecting her, teaching her how to stand up for herself and ignoring the judgment of others. To all of her teachers, she says thank you. She thanks Miss Lax for truly being an advisor and confidant throughout the years, and Miss Mealy for inspiring her in photography and always pushing her to be her best. Shay could not have gotten to this point in her life without the love and support of each of you.
Spencer McNeil Ballantyne. Spencer will be attending Davidson College.
Spencer would like to give thanks to the Pine School, especially Mrs. Houseman, for her never-ending support, and Mr. Squire for everlasting inspiration. He would also like to thank his friends for the laughs and the memories, and most significantly, his loving, hilariously loud, and supportive family. Crystal, you truly amaze him, and his mother's strength is not only remarkable, but also speaks to her character. And lastly, to his Father in heaven, for none of this would have been possible.
Ethan James Bryan. Ethan will be attending Indian River State College.
Ethan thanks all of his teachers, especially Mrs. Rabb. He would never have been able to attend Pine without his parents and grandparents. A huge thanks to his mother, Christina, for encouraging him to remain committed to his education.
Avery Castle Camp. Avery will be attending Wake Forest University.
Avery would like to thank her parents for allowing her to attend the Pine School and always supporting her. She thanks her siblings, Vaughn and Bobby, for helping her make great memories of high school full of laughter and fun. She would also love to thank Mrs. Lettengarver for being her mom away from home and willing to be there for her. And a big thanks to all who have helped her these past 7 years.
Carson Graham Kavner. Carson will be attending Lamar University.
Carson would like to thank his parents and friends for all of their support in academics and athletics. He will always remember playing golf for the Pine School for 3 years, and he cannot wait to hear how Pine athletics are doing for years to come. Also, she would like to thank Mr. Moore for helping her with chemistry and being her advisor. She thanks Mr. Squire for helping her with college essays and Miss Ton for being such a nice teacher. Thanks to Mrs. Rabb for always caring about her and encouraging her to do her best. Thanks to Mr. Osborne for making history so interesting, and Mrs. Dobes for signing her in whenever she was tardy.
Lily Marlene Connolly. Lily will be attending Vassar College.
Lily would like to thank all of her teachers and family because they supported and furthered her education, which has led to her success.
Brittany Page Edwards. Brittany will be attending Rollins College.
Brittany would like to thank all of her teachers through the years, to Mrs. Rabb for always keeping her door open, to her friends that kept her laughing at the lunch tables, to her family and loved ones who guided her maturation, to her mom for her zeal and relentless spirit, to everyone who believed in her, and to everyone who did not, thank you.
Matthew Brandon Edwards. Matthew will be attending Boston College.
Being at Pine for the last 15 years, Matthew has grown to love every single one of the teachers, staff members, and of course, students. The memories, laughs, and lessons Pine has taught him will last for the rest of his life, and for that, he thanks TPS so much. He thanks his parents for their sacrifice, support, love, and deepest care that a son could receive. He thanks God daily for blessing him with parents like you, and also for allowing him to attend such an amazing school. He's going to miss Pine so much, but all of the people at Pine will forever have a special place in his heart. P.S. He doesn't know what he's going to do without Mrs. Dobes next year.
Ryan Christopher Edwards. Ryan will be attending Wake Forest University.
Ryan would first like to thank his parents for sending him to the Pine School, a school where opportunity is abundant and where faculty is willing to go above and beyond the call of duty. He thanks his grandparents for always being supportive and his brother for being his best friend. He thanks the Lord as he is now blessed to say he is a graduate of the Pine School, to have attended Pine his entire life, and to call this place his home.
Harrison Samuel Feenan. Harrison will be attending Florida State University.
Harrison thanks his parents for all of their support. He thanks his grandparents and aunts for their support and encouragement, and his teachers for pushing him to do his very best. A special thank you to Mrs. Hausman for writing such a great letter of recommendation.
Andrew Ross Friend. Andrew will be attending the University of North Florida.
Andrew would like to thank all of his teachers for motivating him, sharing their knowledge, and opening up so many possibilities for him.
Grayson Drew Gardner. Grayson will be attending the University of Alabama.
Grayson thanks his parents for providing him with all of the opportunities they have over the years. He will miss you so much next year. Roll Tide.
Brittany May Kane. Brittany will be attending Harriet L. Wilkes Honors College of Florida Atlantic University.
Brittany would like to thank Mrs. Rabb for being her second mom, Miss Lax for expanding her mind, Mr. Moore for developing her love for chemistry, Mrs. Houseman for keeping her up on Monday mornings in math class, Mr. Nauman for the endlessly amusing conversations in class, and finally her parents for sending her to the Pine School.
Catherine Heath Kynard. Catherine will be attending the University of Georgia.
Katie thanks her mom for being her inspiration and role model and teaching her to be kind and gentle. Katie thanks her father for teaching her that sometimes you have to be tough, but you can still do it with a smile. She thanks her teachers that have aided her journey by providing her with the knowledge and skills needed for future endeavors. A special thanks to Miss Mealy, Mr. Nauman, and Mr. Squire for igniting her creativity every day. Finally, thanks to the class of 2014. It's been a great time with all of you. Go Dogs!
Tiffany Amber Laster. Tiffany will be attending Lees McRae College.
Tiffany would like to thank her parents and brother. They've taught her to surpass the footsteps of legends who have come before her and to stay true to herself. She loves you and promises to make you proud.
Jassy Cece Long. Cece will be attending Barnard College.
Cece says she could have never imagined herself graduating from high school and attending college in another country. First, she thanks her parents who gave her this opportunity and have supported her the entire way. Without them, she couldn't imagine herself here right now. She will never forget how Mr. Squire helped her with her research paper and how Mr. Haas explained one single math problem time and time again. She will always remember Katie Michaels' laugh, Haley Walker's perfect essay, and so many of the other wonderful things her classmates have done. Thank you to all the members of the class of 2014, and best wishes for future success for all.
Emma Rose Madden. Emma will be attending the University of Chicago.
Emma would like to thank her mom and dad and let them know how much she appreciates all you've given up for her to be here today. She also thanks her teachers and friends for your sacrifices and support for the little girl who wore big bows and for showing her what she's capable of.
Caitlin Morgan Michaels. Caitlin will be attending Tulane University.
Katie thanks her mom, dad, brother, and friends for all of their support, love, and laughs throughout the years. She also thanks her teachers and faculty who made her time at Pine unforgettable. She couldn't have done it without everything you've done for her.
Megan Marie Moray. Megan will be attending Huntington University.
Megan would like to thank her family for their love and guidance throughout the years. They have helped her discover and maintain who she is during the last 10 years at the Pine School. She especially wants to thank her father, who has always stayed by her side and supported her and helped her learn more than just academics.
Reed Connor Mortel. Reed will be attending Southern Methodist University.
Reed wants to thank his friends, family, and faculty members at the Pine School for helping him become a better person and preparing him for a new beginning. He wants to thank Mr. Washer and Mr. Sullivan for everything they've helped him with the past few years. Finally, he wants to thank Mom, Dad, Grant, and Clark. He'll miss you guys.
Mary Catherine Murray. Mary will be attending the University of Mississippi.
Katie thanks her family and friends. To Mommy and Daddy, she'll miss you next year. She looks forward to college, but will be sad leaving high school behind. She wishes all her fellow classmates the best of luck in their future endeavors.
Kevin William Paul. Kevin will be attending Carnegie Mellon University.
Kevin thanks his classmates, peers, friends, and best friends for life. He thanks his parents, Mom and Pete, Amanda Panda, his sister, his mentors and teachers, as he could not have made it without each and every one of you. Kevin says, home is where the heart is, and each of you have his heart. Your faces and the shared memories shall illuminate his future paths and continuously inspire him. Thank you for being his backbone of courage and shelter to his soul. He is so proud of the class of 2014.
Theodore Spencer Pearl. Theodore will be attending Appalachian State University.
Teddy thanks his parents for spending the time and money to place him at the Pine School so that he is well educated and prepared to achieve at the college level. He thanks Miss Lax and Mr. Squire for turning him into a prestigious writer, and Dr. Hudgens for turning him into an economist. He is grateful for his true friends and family and for one of his biggest supporters, Brooke. He also wants to thank Mrs. Pacifico for her hard work and assisting him in getting into his first choice college.
Lynette Elizabeth Ritchie. Lynette will be attending Emory University.
Lynette thanks her family for supporting her through her high school years, as well as through the college application process. She also would like to thank the teachers and administrators who helped make these years possible.
Mina Tamanwan Sarapat. Mina will be attending Ringling College.
Mina thanks her parents for giving her the opportunity to have a better education. She thanks Mrs. Pacifico for pushing her so hard with the college application process. She also thanks Mr. Squire and Mrs. Rabb for improving her English skills. Finally, she says thank you to Miss Mealy for improving her art skills and opening a new perspective in life.
Hunter Paul Schultz. Hunter will be attending the University of North Florida.
Hunter thanks his friends and family for supporting him throughout his high school career. He also thanks his teachers for helping him reach this milestone.
Sarah Nicole Sharfy. Sarah will be attending the University of Southern California.
Sarah thanks each and every one of her teachers, coaches, teammates, classmates, and family. She especially thanks Coach Washer, Mr. Squire, Miss Lax, and Mrs. Dobes. Thanks to her mom for always being her rock. She wouldn't be here today without everything she and her dad have done for her. It's been an amazing 8 years, and TPS will forever hold a special place in her heart.
Danielle Francis Skelly. Danielle will be attending Franklin and Marshall College.
Danny can't even begin to explain how thankful she is for the people who have helped her reach this point in her life. She thanks her dad for making her realize that you can always push to accomplish more, her mom for being her best friend, her older brother for always having her back, and her little brother for reminding her there is always a reason to smile.
Paul Chris Spiro. Paul will be attending Palm Beach State College.
Paul thanks his parents and brother George for always being there for him. He thanks Miss Lax for helping him learn how to think creatively and how to be an individual. He also wants to thank Mr. Rabb for trusting him and allowing him to show off his audio engineering skills at school events. Last but not least, he thanks Mr. Nauman for being not only an awesome teacher, but also an awesome friend who has helped him become a much better artist, including learning how to screen print.
Jack Chastain Stubblefield. Jack will be attending Vanderbilt University.
Jack would like to thank his mom, dad, and grandparents for all of their support and giving me many opportunities to succeed. He also would like to thank the teachers at the Pine School for all of their hard work in helping the senior class and putting up with him. Lastly, he would like to specifically thank Mr. Holland, Mrs. Pacifico, and the best advisor, Mrs. Hausman, for all of their help over the past years. He says he has been truly blessed to have so many generous and supportive people in his life.
Kendra Rochelle Thornton. Kendra will be attending Wake Forest University.
Kendra thanks her family, who has been the greatest support system. She also thanks Miss Lax and Mr. Squire for all of their wisdom and guidance.
Haley Ann Walker. Haley will be attending the University of Miami.
Haley thanks her family for all of their support, her mom, dad, sister Allie, and her Pine School family. She thanks Mr. Squire for inspiring her as a writer, Miss Lax for all of her advice, Mr. Nauman for encouraging her as an artist and editor. Each of you have helped make her who she is today.
James Adam Walker. James will be attending Palm Beach State College.
Jim thanks his family and friends for always being there for him, especially when he needed them the most. He thanks Mr. and Mrs. Rabb for always encouraging him and giving him that extra oomph to get him through the day. Finally, he thanks Mrs. Parker for being more than just a head of school and for caring about each and every student.
Last but not least, Kuyi Eric Shu. Eric will be attending Maryland Institute of College and Art.
Eric thanks his parents in China, who gave him the great opportunity to study in the United States. He also thanks Jerry and Mrs. Dobes, who have taken care of him these past 2 years. He'll miss you guys. He thanks Mrs. Pacifico for helping him through the college process and its college acceptance. Finally, he thanks the Pine School for giving him everything he's needed to prepare for college.
Will the class rise? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the class of 2014. stay standing, class. Audience can sit down. Now we'll have the official turning of their tassels. If you would like to turn and face the audience, that's okay. You can do that. Turn your tassels from the right to the left to signify that you have now graduated. Be seated. At this time, we would like a word of welcome from the president of the Pineschool Alumni Association, Carla Brown Lucas, who has a child in early learning and is graduate, 8th grade graduate from the class of 1990. Please welcome Carla Brown Lucas.
Good morning and congratulations, guys. Thank you for including a few older nights in your graduation day. And I need to take these off because I'm now closer to 40 than 30. And I had the conversation with my eye doctor the other month about bifocals, and I said, no, we aren't there yet. I'm in denial, yes, I know. It really is exciting to celebrate your accomplishments and see all of you walk across the stage. Excuse me. We are thrilled to welcome you to the fraternity that is the Pineschool Alumni Association. During the past year, I had the pleasure of meeting some of you and watching many of you perform at the Upper School Holiday Program, the school play, and the Upper School Evening of the Arts. And the other week, I saw several of you present your capstone projects. That was really neat. You truly are a bright, talented, well-rounded group of people. You make me proud to be a knight, and a parent of a little knight. My son Max is in the early learning class this year with Mrs. Zobrist, and he too attended many of the programs that I just mentioned and was in absolute awe of the big kids. And as a parent, you want your child to model the positive traits that they see in other people. And from what I have seen of the class of 2014, I would be very happy if he looked up to you as role models. 20 years ago, almost to the day, I was sitting where you are. In fact, 2 weeks from right now, I will attend my 20-year high school reunion. Thanks to social media, many of us have already reconnected, and it got me thinking, after 20 years, what perspective does the class of 1994 have? And what would we tell our 18-year-old selves, knowing what we know now? So I took a poll, and I asked my fellow classmates, what would you tell the class of 2014 now that you have 20 years of perspective? And they came up with some really good pearls of wisdom. Some of them are humorous, and some of them are very serious. So here's what my classmates wanted to impart to you. Study hard, harder than you think you should. Good grades aren't everything, but they certainly do give you an edge. Don't take out student loans. That was said by multiple people. Study abroad. Do something that makes you happy but also pays the bills. You need to get off your parents' payroll. Before you do anything, make any decision, ask yourself this question: what good can come of this? If you can't think of anything, make a better decision. And this came from a guy who is now a sniper with the Jacksonville Police Department SWAT team. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Be even less afraid to offer help. If you see darkness at someone else's door, make sure to open yours and let them in. Wear sunscreen. Skin cancer sneaks up on you. Spend money on a good mattress and pillows. Nothing you learn in high school truly prepares you for life. Actually, living life prepares you the best. Start saving for retirement now before you have dependents. I cannot stress that enough. An afternoon nap is a gift from God. And this is especially true when you have small children in the house. Trust in your family and friends. Material things will not provide for you. Your family and, friends will. Don't let other people dictate who you are. Be yourself. Put down your device, log off, unplug, and enjoy the moments. The snapshots you take with your eyes and burn into your mind will last longer than your Instagram account. And finally, be thankful. Be thankful for the people who love and support you. Be thankful for your education. Be thankful for the gifts and talents you possess. Be thankful for the opportunities that are presented to you. And on behalf of the Pine Schools Alumni Association, I congratulate each and every one of you on your accomplishments. While this is one of the most significant days in your life to date, there are many, many more that will eclipse today. You have achieved great things, however, there are even bigger prizes to be had. Go on, do your thing, but remember where you came from, and remember that your Pine School family is always cheering you on. Good luck, and thank you.
Please join me in welcoming the Pine School Chorus under the direction of Mrs. Melanie Steinke. They will perform a medley as part of a very special ceremony here at the Pine School. Each senior will come forward and receive a rose and go into the audience to give it to the person of their choice. Seniors, you'll start from stage right. please bow your heads for our benediction? Dear God, I ask on behalf of those gathered here that you would indeed bless each of these graduates. Give them grace to make a difference for the good wherever they may find themselves in the years ahead. Grant not only knowledge they will need in their colleges and universities, but also wisdom to apply that knowledge to life as it really is. For all of the graduates and the families of which they are a part, we ask that they may make a significant contribution to the general welfare of society. May each be a blessing to those whose lives they personally touch. And now may you be pleased with what has been done here this morning, and thank you for our presence. Amen. Please join us after the ceremony for photos and refreshments, and we will begin the recessional with the platform party, followed by the faculty, and finally the graduates.